Hey, Mary Contrary.
What's up, Starfish?
How you doing tonight?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Good. I'm excited. We have a special guest with us tonight. We have a friend here, Julie. And as you all know, this is our first interview with somebody who's experienced a scam. So that's what we're here to do tonight is we're going to talk to Julie about an experience she had, a terrible but also interesting and learning experience, I think. It was an interesting, very, very fascinating. We'll put it that way. So with no further delay, I'd love to introduce and hear Julie's story.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I am excited to share this embarrassing story in hopes that I can help someone else. Maybe I can prevent it from happening to someone else. Maybe we can make it more common knowledge. I'm going to start by saying I'm not sure if this is connected or not to an online astrologer that I had connected to in the fall of last year. But she did somewhat predict this. She described where I was going to meet him. She described a new culture. He's successful. She predicted that he was going to have a business trip that prevented us from meeting, etc. Her timing was a little bit off, but all of her predictions were coming true. So I couldn't really help. It wasn't until much later when I made this connection, I then Googled Astro Mary scam. And it's possible because there was a report of someone else accusing. I'm sorry to name drop. But there was someone else who had accused it of being fake and like someone was being concerned about them, but maybe it was just copy and pasted. I also looked up one of her Facebook posts because I'm friends with this online astrologer on Facebook, and I found a lot of bots in the comments, like a lot of the same comment posted over and over. Yet somehow she keeps emailing me through all this. She's insisting she's particularly concerned about me, even to this day. Like she just emailed me. Like I'm really concerned about me.
So you had some things going on and you called up an astrologer, which I think we've all done. I've done it.
Right. That might be another episode of why I got into astrology. I was a big skeptic, but somehow got led to a tarot. And then I was just interested in learning more about my personal astrology. And online, I connected with this French astrologer and she kept sending me reports. She was spending a lot of time on me and it really hit home. But anyway, she predicted this scammer.
Okay.
We'd have to have a whole nother episode probably on astrology on that stuff. So anyways, she tells me I'm going to meet this guy on a dating website. It wasn't too hard to figure out. It was Facebook. So anyways, Make is this successful Asian. He's into hiking and RVing. He's new to Denver. He's only been here for 3 months. He would send me photos of himself, his dinner he's making, his apartment, his view from his Denver apartment when it snowed. I asked if he got any snow, and he sent me a picture out the window of snow. We got to know each other really well. We shared our experiences, our upbringings. When I would ask him about his name, because his name was Jorge, and I was like, do people call you Jorge? I mean, but really his name was this elaborate, like Xing Chen Mai, like something like that. And it was weird because my original tarot lady said the guy I was going to meet was going to have a name. Like she thought I already knew him because he had a really weird name. And so then I was like, oh, this guy's name's like Xing Chen Mai, this kid I went to high school with. Maybe she thought I knew him. But anyways, I was making all these connections, which I don't know. It's just mind boggling to know what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
He would send me pictures, but he wouldn't video chat. He said he was embarrassed because he couldn't speak very well. Anyways, the red flags were around, but my emotional state, it's very important to note, my emotional state at this time was so unstable. I needed someone to look out for me and make sure that I was drinking enough water and eating throughout the day. Like he took care of me. He was interested in my passions, like the environment, and he's successful. He wanted to help me. He understood I had no friends or family I was currently talking to. He knew I was exhausted and driving my kids across the country in negative 20-degree weather. He knew my boss was making me work that night too, which was December 31st. I'm in
Of this last year.
Nebraska. This was December 31st, like a few months ago.
Okay.
I'm in Nebraska. I'm tired. I'm overwhelmed. Make is his name. He wants to help me. So he shares secrets about crypto trading. That's when he does it. This is like 3 weeks after I started talking to him. So I wasn't suspicious. He didn't jump on this relationship like, hey, you want to trade? He actually didn't want to tell me. He was making it seem secretive. Then he was like, he convinced me to agree to try a small amount of money, like $100. And so I said, okay, well, if you're that confident in it, I'll just do 1,000. So I did 1,000 and it turned into 3,000. And he's like, see how easy that is? Now, like, go get the rest of your stuff. And I'm like, I don't have that much stuff. I'm going through divorce. So I did have some assets. But anyways, he wanted me to take advantage of this opportune time because he studies the nodes or whatever for cryptocurrencies. So he's saying, Tuesday's the day. Tuesday. We need all your money by Tuesday. You gather it all up. He wanted me to buy a house. He had a friend who was looking for houses for me where I want to live. I don't know. Anyways, there were holes in his story, like the amounts he could drink or, where he lived, how far away he really lived from my work, or just little holes. And then when he was in New York, he was away from his friends. That's why he couldn't meet me. But then one night he got mad at me for not trusting him about like questioning his crypto or something. He got like unusually angry and he went out and drank with his friends. And I'm like, but I thought you were in New York. And that night he actually called me on accident and was drunk. And I don't know what I don't know. It was definitely an Asian person who didn't speak English, but there were other people there too. I don't know.
So you hadn't really talked to him on the phone. You had just been texting.
No.
Okay.
He wouldn't,
Yeah, right,
which was a red flag, of course.
Right,
but he's like, I'm embarrassed. Sometimes I blame the red flags on culture. The WhatsApp, the no phone, he's embarrassed to talk because of his language. He was worried about COVID, so he didn't want to meet. He made me go get my booster shot because he was concerned about me.
What a good time to scam people.
Yeah,
Right.
he would be like controlling in a way where he's like, like I would go for drives in the mountains and he'd be like, oh my gosh, it's so dangerous. You're driving in the snow and you like took a photo and how dare you like take a photo while you drive? What are you doing driving? Anyway, he was super nice and romantic most of the time. But once I got money that was a large enough amount, like $30,000, the scammer seemed to change personalities. And looking back, I feel like I was passed from one team to the next, like from team one to team, like, let's get this money. And so I started to think it was different personalities, different people. They would yell at me and name call me at the end. I'm like, what the hell? He blamed me when his WhatsApp account would be closed. He'd say like it was because I sent provocative messages. But I Googled it. It said I told him your account must have transferred too much data files. That's what comes up when you Google it. And he's like, oh, I send a lot of big data files to my friends concerning crypto nodes and trends. And I don't know. He had an excuse for everything. But there are red flags. I mean, for sure. But at the end, it definitely seemed to end quickly. He had tried me to ask my boss for money to pay back. Instead, I tried to just say, I want to tap into my 401k savings account. That conversation did not go well with my boss. And this guy convinced me to quit my job of 10 years. Arguably, it was the right thing to do because that relationship with my boss wasn't healthy. And for my boss to do what he did to me at the end of this, like he found out that I got scammed that, and the same day he fired me, and the same day I was supposed to be getting divorced, and my paperwork was all on my computer that he had frozen my computer, deactivated my account. So I had to dissolve my divorce that I had been in for 6 months and start over. So I was just a shell of a person. I just hit my bottom, okay.
So I have some quick questions for you, Julie, just to kind of clarify. So this guy was someone that you met. Was it through the astrologer, or she just predicted that you were going to meet them?
She predicted that I was going to meet my guy he's going to be very successful, very rich. And I was going to meet him on a big platform. She couldn't tell me which one, but she said, I'm very familiar with it. And you can do so many things on this platform. I just felt like it's Facebook. It's the only thing I use.
Did he reach out to you? Did he find you?
So I did go, and she said when I go onto Facebook dating, I was going to get a lot of hits, and I did. It was overwhelming, and she was like, you're going to need to sift through the people, give them all a chance, but this person is going to be from a new culture, and they're going to be very successful, and this and that. And so, I don't know. I just feel like I fell into that one.
I don't know. We did a story where a psychic woman hooked somebody up with her own daughter, so she could place her daughter in the exact location where she predicted that she was going to meet. So that's why we're making that connection. It was really freaky.
I know. So I still not sure how to feel about that.
It seems like that's not exactly what happened, but still.
And why she keep reaching out to me about other things? I haven't been looking at them, but she gives me a lot of information and just to email. I mean, she writes a lot. It seems like a lot of work. Even if it's copy and paste, it's a lot. It's a full-time job.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. Anyways, so I get fired from my job. I was so out of what to do. I called my intuitive counselor, this lady I had called once before, because my life has just been so hard and I just don't know what to do. So anyways, my intuition was all over the place. I called my intuitive counselor. Over the phone, it seemed less accurate, but she won't do in person because of COVID. But I wanted her to clarify this guy. Is he the one? Is he a good person? I'm only getting good things, but something weird's happening right now. And she said she was getting mixed signals because she was getting a vision that Make was breathing life into my lifeless body. She's like, your body is dead, and he's the lifeguard breathing life and energy back into you. And I'm like, that's what I feel. He was making sure I drank water, took my pill, ate my food, took care of my kids, bought my kids stuff, went tanning, gave myself self-love, went and got my nails done. He would be like, you need to get up. And if I couldn't, he would say, make a bubble bath. And this is what I want you to eat. I want you to get a banana. He cared about me. And I feel like you can't put a price on that, I guess. I don't know. The good about Make I have here, he made me love myself. He encouraged self-love, like the tanning and the nails. He made me feel loved and cared about. He cared whether I took care of myself. He showed me pretty music from his country, and he tried to help me relax. We fantasized about our future together, and he asked me about my kids every day. He knew all my kids' favorite things. No other guys I was talking to did. No other guys from Facebook cared about my kids or tell me to spoil them. I don't know. But my question in my head was, are others like me willing to pay their entire savings to feel loved? And sadly, I think it's evident through all the Dr. Phil episodes about catfishing and scams that, yes, American women are craving love. And it comes to the point where you can tell us that this guy is fake. And we're like, but he's loving me. So here's some more. No, I don't know. I wrote a silly song about it, My Sweet Scammer, and how it's but I do it all over again. He loves me. He made me feel so loved. But
right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So did you ever meet him?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
But you talked to him for a month or month and a half, 2 months, couple months?
It was about 3 or 4 weeks. It was right
Oh,
around
okay.
Christmas time. Christmas, I was really vulnerable. I was alone. I didn't have many people I was talking to. I didn't have a husband. My kids were with their grandparents. My parents were treating me like a teenager who's home from college or something. Like, I'm not allowed to hang out with boys because I'm married technically, and they don't approve of my divorce, and they're not going to support me giving up on my marriage, essentially, when they don't know, you don't share all the things with your family all the time. But so through this, I was completely alone. I didn't share this with anybody.
Yeah.
So that made it easier for them too. So to other people who are alone and feeling like this, I mean, gosh, it makes
Yeah.
me feel like there's a need for a business or something. Or like American guys need to get it together and be more loving and romantic and make you feel cared about, because
No.
I never had that before. In 35 years, I never met a guy who was so caring and romantic. So sad. And he's fake. And I'm just like, wait, I don't even care. When I found out about the scam, I'm like, wait. So I just lost $43,000, but I don't care. I
Ooh.
care about this guy not being someone I'm going to meet next week. Like, really? So this is fake and you're not actually going to meet me? Damn. It was really disappointing. It was really, really hard. That was the hardest part.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, feeling like you really cared about somebody and finding out essentially it was all a scam, but also just, that hurt of losing somebody you love.
Yeah, because even through it all, like, he would say something about the money, and I kept being like, this isn't about the money. Like, I have never felt this emotionally loved and connected to anyone in my life. And yeah, I started getting the opinion at the end, I want to say, that I kind of felt like the mean team. I say there's like the nice romantic team, and then there's the mean team. I feel like they just want to weaken America. I kind of felt like they want to scam all of us and make us weak and powerless and unsuccessful. They want to take our status. Like, they have such a hate for America. It was a red flag to me how he would say such positive opinions of Americans. And I would be like, that's not true. I mean, I have a lot of non-American friends, and like, that's not what a wealthy businessman would say. Like, his mom thinks about Americans. No way. I don't know.
Right.
Huh, that's weird. That's a weird feature. So what was the mechanism exactly with the crypto? Like, you put it somewhere and then you couldn't get it back, or like what happened?
There were two sites. That's the issue. He made me feel that we were doing Coinbase. It's Coinbase.
Coinbase. That's
Okay, so Coinbase is pretty normal, right?
Okay.
Seems like he's like, okay, you're going to create a Coinbase account. You're going to create your own. You do it with your ID, blah, blah, blah. This is going to take you a few minutes. And I'm like tired. I had been driving. It's like right around New Year's. I don't remember which day it was that we actually set this up, but I was always so tired and using a hotel connection and being like, can we do this another time? And he's like, no, the nodes don't wait. Like, you have to take advantage of the nodes. And I'm like Googling, like, what the hell is a node? And I'm like looking at graphs of like, okay, maybe he's studying something going up and down. But then he would like make me take screenshots of all the actions that I did to make sure I did exactly what he said all the time. Anyways, he made me go to a different site. It was called Global Pay. That's the site that's fake. It looks like they have it all fancied up, so it looks like it's doing something, and you like invest on there. So he would tell me to go to this tab, click, you want to buy more ETH, which is Ethereum. He taught me about Ethereum, and that, like, it is real. And I can't decide if he was actually trading with my money or not. Did he trade with my money and make it go from 43 to 106? That's what it said. But then when you go to cash it out, the money is not there. And then he's like, go to customer service, and customer service is clearly fake. I started messing with them because I'm just like, oh God, you guys are like, oh, you made too much money and now you have to pay the taxes on it, which is $20,000. And I'm like, oh, okay. You want me to
wait? What did they say? You cut out there a little.
They said I made so much money that I needed to pay the taxes on it.
Oh,
So
God.
that was 20,000.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, okay, you got me. Like, you want me to send you more money? Okay. So then Make starts getting really mad at me, like, why are you being a smartass? And why do you,
How would he know?
why? Because I took a screenshot of what I said to customer service, which was
Oh,
like kind of inappropriate. Like, do you accept sexual favors? And he's like, why are you being inappropriate to the customer service? And I'm like, because they're fucking fake, Make. But anyways, so he's like, well, $20,000 is nothing. Why don't you just pay it and get your money? And I'm like, well,
Ugh.
if it's so nothing to you, then why don't you send it to me? And he's like, no, because you'll run away with my money and I'll never see it again. And I'm like, oh, like you're doing?
Right,
And then
right.
it went back and forth. I mean, once I got in it, I mean, I was on the phone with my intuitive counselor on the phone while Make was telling me I need to pull over and trade right now. And I'm telling my intuitive counselor, like, something is so messed up right now. Like, this is not okay. My money feels like it's gone. And she's like, I see a slot machine with like a bunch of coins coming out, like lots of money. And yeah, for them, they're
Right.
the money.
Wow.
So, I mean, when intuition goes wrong, right? I mean, you can be intuitive and read it wrong. And I have a lot of stories. I want to have just like a comedy special. It's like when your intuition goes wrong.
I think
Wow.
that's when
And
people
so-
are scammed the most, you know, is they just feel like they're vulnerable.
When they're
guts
vulnerable,
off,
yeah. 100%.
All
That
the
happens all the
planets
time.
were aligning for me. I mean, with the astrologer, with my family and friends, with my divorce, with my job, just my life was just coming to a crossroads in every way. And, you know, I just look back at it and I think, what did I learn from here? Because I'm not getting my money back. I tried to report it. I tried to call the FBI. I tried to call the police. I called 3 different places. I tried to report it online. The link went nowhere. No one cares, okay? They say it's so common, and they could change their IP address in a second and be gone. You can't
Yeah.
trace it. It's gone. All I can do is warn someone else or, you know, let people know that they're doing it in different ways, and it gets really elaborate. You don't even think you're going to trade. I in no way wanted to trade, but I felt so cared about, and just I got in a huge fight with my mom, and it was just horrible, and with my kids, and oh man, he was just really he was like, if there's one way to get to my heart, it's kids. I always donate to charity. I always want to donate to charity. We had the same passions. I was just so, I was just so scammed.
Yeah.
Guys. Scamped. Anyways,
Wow.
takeaways, I learned to love myself, and I learned that true love does exist. I am capable of feeling these feelings. I'll be more safe with my money. I don't know. But I do get red flags when I see my friend from high school posting, "Hey guys, trading Ethereum right now on crypto will make you so much money. Like, I want to give you guys a web tour. Like, I want to show you guys." And I'm like, oh God, I don't want anything about that, because what if he's being scammed? What if someone
Right.
did it in a different way to him? I don't know. They're
Yeah,
smart.
right.
There's a team. There's clearly a team of people doing this. And I just pray that my money went to feed a village of needy people experiencing climate change who really need it.
It probably went to a Ferrari. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's kind of the scammers. You know, they got mansions, they got their Ferraris. So
That's how they usually get caught. It's because they're stupid.
that's how they usually are caught eventually there. But yeah, unfortunately, these international scams, they're complicated, and they really come after people like you, Julie, and it's unfortunate. And especially when people are in a vulnerable position, they have a lot of bad stuff happening in their lives. And they're looking for answers, and they try to outreach other people to help. And then, it's like there's a lot of sinister people, unfortunately, out there waiting to take your money and try to make you feel good. It's sad. It's terrible.
I've seen it on Dr. Phil 1,000 times. I
Yep.
stopped watching Dr. Phil. I'm sorry, Dr. Phil, but because it was the same thing. I'm going, all these stupid people falling for the same crap. I'm never going to fall for that. And then boom, life lesson. But I mean, I'm a smart, educated, went to college. I understood how to do everything. I understood. I did research. I still got scammed. I even went to the bank and talked to the banker. I talked to the banker of this, whether this was normal, and they made me feel reassured that it was fine.
Wow.
I don't know.
It's crazy.
So even while you were doing the transactions, you went to a banker and talked to them, and they said that it was fine.
Yes, I had to wire money.
Wow.
Because I tried to link my bank account, but looking back, I'm wondering if Chase flagged it as like, no, you can't have more than $1,000. It would not approve it. So I had to go get it wired. And then I even had a banker come out and have to approve it with me. And I was like, is this all legit? And they were like, yes. They checked the address. It was going to Coinbase in Los Angeles. And he said that's where him and his friends were from. Like, that's where his home base was out here. I didn't think it was that unusual, but now I'm thinking him and his friends.
Maybe the banker was in on it.
Well, he would be like, what, you think my family owns Coinbase? And I'm just like, no, but
why did they get so defensive? I mean, just getting defensive is a red flag in itself.
Oh, at the end there, for sure, at the end. And it was already at the point where I knew my money was out of Coinbase and into their random website, so there was nothing I could do.
Right.
So I started lecturing him like you do not need to be doing this. You're very smart. If you are legit trading, because I felt like he was legit trading. Like, did he make money with my money, or did he just make the money that I sent? I don't know. But
we say that all the time. We say that all the time. A lot of these people are super smart, and if they just applied it, they would probably be just as successful. They're just so interested in scamming.
Have to hurt good people. I'm like, how many people have you done this to? How many more people are you going to do this? How are you going to do this and not feel guilty? Like, come on. But,
well, and I wonder, I mean, was he saying I love you? Was he really giving you? Yeah. Oh, that is just brutal. How do you do that to somebody?
He cared about me because I was broken. I mean, Christmas was just so hard for me, and he just really was so funny with me. We were so funny back and forth together and sending each other silly gifts and just always there. And I don't know, I just felt really connected to him. I could talk to him about energy efficiency. He was really smart. And I was talking to him about climate change and how that's what I wanted to help was with other countries and with our government and changing things for the better. And he was so supportive until it changed to the money team. And I felt so connected to him in my head. I felt like he thought about me for weeks after, but I would just be like, why did you do that? I had a connection with someone, whether it was real or fake. I was talking to someone for a month.
And that someone, did you feel like that someone was one person?
I feel like there was one nice person who really
at least just one nice person.
Right.
So they use the skills of the one person to sort of bait you or bait people.
Yeah.
And then they have a team of, did you feel like you were talking to multiple people or just one other person? Okay.
I feel like once I got into a certain money bracket, things changed. You know what I mean?
Wow, that sounds real familiar, Starfish.
Yeah, once you're bumped up to the next level, it's like a whole other team of salespeople. Oh, okay. She's a platinum level fish.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Then they pull out all the stops. Yeah.
Well, then all of a sudden they weren't understanding our jokes anymore, and they were like getting offended by things that we used to think were funny. And I'm like,
right?
And he was saying stuff like, "I don't even think you're the same person anymore." And I'm like, the same could be said about you, Make, and actually you just gave it away, and now I know that I'm not talking to you anymore. And my intuitive counselor got so into this. She was like texting me stories and like articles about this. Even my boss texted me an article about this. But if my boss knew, why would he?
You mean an article about being scammed?
Yeah, about like the
Oh,
new
okay,
age
okay.
of being scammed and how it's through dating or through different means, and
I
they make
bet
you feel like you're trading crypto.
I bet your boss
Wow.
was just butthurt that you were
Yeah,
unhappy
I
there
think
or
there's
something.
deeper issues
You know.
there, and it was just time. But
Yeah.
like the way I just felt so dropped off by the entire planet at the same time, I was just like crying in a ball. And to get myself back up, I just had to get into nature and really see the good and make. If I just saw it as I just lost my savings, woe is me, I'm gonna just fall into a pity hole. So I had to see, like, what did I learn from this? Or else I'm gonna go crazy. So I've been just posting like my videos about my rock
Right.
bottom and trying to encourage others that, this doesn't mean your life is over. You don't have to get like, believe it or not, I thought about killing myself. Like my family would be better off without me. How am I going to tell my ex-husband who I'm trying to divorce that the money I just got from our refinance through our divorce process, I just lost it all. Instead of putting it down on a
Uh,
house, it's now gone. And like I didn't know how to say that when my husband's already mad at me. Like he's so ornery at me. Like how am I going to admit some failure to this guy who wants to see me fail right now? But surprisingly,
right.
he was like really supportive and he felt responsible for driving me to that situation. But when he gets mad, he
Mm.
uses it against me all the time, which was my fear. Like, well, you make bad decisions and you get scammed, so you can't be trusted with the kids full time.
Oh no. Oh no. Man, it lasts it has a lasting effect. That's terrible.
Yeah. But you
Oh,
know what? I
jeez.
just keep my head on strong and I know I'll be on my feet again. And I just try to hope that the money didn't go to a Ferrari starfish. I
Sorry.
hope it went
It
Right.
probably
to
did. I'm just
nutritious
saying.
food service. Maybe
It
a
might
pie,
have.
Oh,
some sheep.
if all, I don't think those scammers are doing it for good things. I'm sorry.
Hey, people are so desperate to
No.
work from home. People think they can't make money right now. The money is got to be in the renewable energy. I know people, that's not where the profit comes from. That's another topic too. I'm sorry. I'm really big into
No, it's
renewables,
good.
but like, geez.
Maybe we can have another bonus episode on renewable
Mm,
energy and psychics too,
mm.
or astrologers.
Count me again.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank
Yeah.
you for sharing your story. I mean, I think it's so
Yeah, for
nice,
sure.
and I know it's embarrassing and it's hard to tell the story, but it's so nice for people to connect with somebody who has had this happen to them,
Yes,
because it's
because
like,
I hesitate to call
Right.
myself stupid because you know what? I'm not the only person who went through this. I am very
no,
smart and it's not just happening to me. And I don't want someone else to see this video and go, yeah, I'm stupid. I should just like
right,
quit on life. Like, no one else
right.
can do this. Like, we can do this.
We all bounce back. We all bounce back. I mean, some of the scams are really horrible and terrible. And this one is bad. I mean,
Yeah.
this is a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
money, but I think it's good to see you being okay and moving forward and taking some good lessons out of it because that's all you can do.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
I
Yeah,
mean,
definitely.
would I do it
Yep.
again? I don't know. You should listen to my parody song.
Hopefully not. Come talk to us first.
All right. Well,
Right.
All right. Thanks so much,
thank
Julie.
you for having me, you guys. Take care
Okay.
now.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that was Julie with us. We just had a little interview with Julie. What'd you think of that, Mary Contrary?
It was a very interesting story. I mean, so basically, she got crypto scammed
Yeah.
by a foreign entity. It sounds like a pretty big operation to me, of multiple people involved in that. I still kind of feel like that psychic that she talked to was somehow involved in that,
I know.
like kind of leading her to that.
I know.
It just
I really thought
sounds
about
shady.
that. I thought about that a lot because I was like, maybe it was the words that she used that then made her sort of primed her to look for those words in people. Like she said, he's going to be successful. So I'm like, was that word in his profile? I don't
Right.
know. It could be that they're leading you to these people. He's going to be multicultural.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a way to do that,
Oh yeah.
but that could be just us speculating. I think all of us speculating, because she wasn't sure there was a direct connection there. But that, and then the intuition counselor seemed kind of sketchy to me too.
Yeah, it's like she had these multiple people. So it's like, did they all just like take all of her information and put together this like elaboration on all of that, which is really sad, you know, and especially again, we talk about victims on this show all the time, and you know, like these are real people that, you know, they're hardworking. They're, you know, some of them are stuck in real bad situations or bad times in their life, and you know, they're totally taken advantage of. I mean, I had it happen to me when I was at a bad point in my career. Like I wanted out, like I was desperate, and that's what these scammers are the most interested in.
Right, which, you know, going through the astrologers and the psychics and the, you know, the intuition counselors or whatever, it's like, it's almost like that's the opening door or something. Like it opens you, like, oh, now we have your email. We're going to send it out to all of our scammer friends so that they can hook you somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems very connected and like a network or something. I mean, I don't believe in conspiracies, but it's like a cabal of conspiracy people, you know?
Yeah, I know. But it's like just never being able to meet him. And I mean, that sucks that you're at that vulnerable, you know, that you're just relying on technology like that to help you with everyday stuff. Like you don't have, you know, I feel bad for her in that. It's like, you know, she was just in a bad spot in her life and thought that this person was legitimate and legitimately cared about her. And kind of fell for her. You know, we've seen so many victims of our stories with that same sentiment. You know, like I really wanted it to be real. Like I really thought this person cared about me. I've never had that in my life, which is really terrible and sad. It's just sucks that we have these type of people in humanity that think that they have the right to insert themselves into people's lives like this and mess with them in like the worst possible way. And I'm sure a lot of people have, unfortunately, like she was saying, she was suicidal, and I'm sure a lot of people committed suicide from this. Right. Which is terrible.
Right. It's terrible.
It's absolutely terrible to be scammed and bullied like this.
Right. Right. And it's just, I think, you know, it's not illegal. It's not illegal to do this. The only thing that they probably would have been caught for was the wire fraud. It's not illegal to make somebody fall for you. It's not illegal to get them to invest in Coinbase. It's not illegal to do anything. The wire fraud was probably the only thing, if anything. And then the fact that she went to law enforcement and they basically turned her away. I mean, holy cow. It's just like...
Because, I mean, it's so complicated. You know, they can't track anything like that. Right. And especially, like we say all the time, never wire your money. And this is another great example. Because once you do that, it's gone. It doesn't... You know, the bankers don't know the difference of why you're wiring things. Like, I used to wire money all the time with my online business. Large amounts of money for inventory. And, it just, like... we made it work, you know, like I figured out how to make it all work, and it's a risk. It is.
I mean, I wired money I wired money recently, like $5,000. Like, it's not like I have that money sitting around or anything either, but I had to wire it and it worked. I mean, it worked fine. So that's the hard part, is that they use these totally legit channels that seem legit. And gosh, they're just so darn good at it. I think what pissed me off is that they made her fall in love with him. I'm like, that's just so disgusting. I can't wrap my head. How do you sleep at night? You have to be a sociopath, but then at the same time, you made somebody fall for you. So obviously, I don't know. It's just a weird dichotomy in my head. Like, you're a total sociopath who yet made somebody totally fall in love with you. You know, how do you do that?
And just over the phone, like not even in person.
I know. I mean, I have met people and friends and not met them for a long time. Like, one friend I didn't meet for probably, I don't know, 5 years or something like that. We met online, but we were just friends at first. We specifically met like over a shared interest, and it was not designed to be a relationship or anything. So we just never did meet. We finally ended up meeting, but you know, it was just like, hey, this is really, you know, awesome to meet you finally. But I think that would have been something for me. Like, I need to meet you. I need to meet you as soon as possible. I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to wait to meet you. I think, I didn't ask her, but I bet she's much more like that now. Like, we're going to meet immediately. Let's meet within the first.
Right.
I don't even want to chat with them too many times before. Let's go on a date.
Right,
Let's
yeah.
just meet. This is just the way to connect us. It's not the way to keep us connected.
Yeah.
Thank you, online services, for connecting random people who we never might have met otherwise. But at the same time, like, okay, let's meet immediately. So that's, I think,
Yeah.
another bit that she might have, like, okay, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. So, well, I thank Julie for coming on and being candid with us, and
Oh, me too. It's great.
sharing a real life fraud story with us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to hear more from our guests that listen to us. I would love to hear their experiences with this, to just kind of get it out there, so that we can give people some sort of hope of recovery after something like that. I mean, I can't imagine just like losing that amount of money forever. Like, that's a ton of money. I think it was $43,000.
Right.
So that sucks.
Oh, I would be dying.
Oh yeah, most people would be completely screwed, or bankrupt, or all sorts of bad stuff. Lose their house, like everything. Everything could happen with that amount of money here. So I just think that these stories are important. So again, I thank Julie for coming on here and having the courage to share that kind of story with us. So.
Yeah, me too. Thank you, Julie. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone, for listening to Real Talk. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen. We look forward to having you on our next one.